Eliud Kipchoge, the GOAT, is gonna be there because he's a defending champion.
Yep.
We have Kelvin Kiptum, who recently broke a world record.
So he
definitely most likely has to be there.
He's got to go.
You've been reviewing, like the list of runners who are going to be participating in this year's New York's marathon. What is it? What's one thing that maybe might have caught your attention on both the men and the women who are going to be participating in the New York Marathon?
So there's a lot of word that the list is not heavy. It's not packed with like the guys that you'd expect.
So on the men's or the women's side?
On the men's side.
On the men's side.
On the men's side.
Heavy hitters.
Heavy hitters.
Yeah.
But which is okay. But I think, for me, I was looking at it as a chance for somebody else is getting an opportunity.
Correct.
To come in and do something. We might get a potential Kiptum somewhere in the Kiptum.
I think
a Kiptum somewhere in the middle.
I think that debutant, that Kenyan debutant, might do it.
But what is interesting is when you look at the men, looking at the list,
yes,
ni wanaume tu wawili.
Yeah,
from Kenya.
Yes,
Albert Korir.
Yep.
And Edward Cheserek.
And Edward Cheserek is a debutant.
He's a debutant.
Yes.
Yeah. When you look at the mamas, more than 1, 2, 3,
Boss,
4, 5,
there are
6,
8.
7.
The mamas list is loaded.
Acho.
Including
in Kikuyu wanazamanga icho.
Yeah.
Including 8. Who?
There's Bridget Kosgei, and then there's Perez Jepchirchir, there's Edna Kiplagat, Mary Ngugi Cooper. Iyo Cooper tatueleza alitoa wapi.
Iyo, Mary Ngugi.
Yeah, and then there's Helen Obiri, Viola Chepto, and Sharon Lokedi. So on the women's side, I will not be surprised to see a 1, 2, 3. Although
I see 5.
The Ethiopian Gide might spoil that part.
0.
Yeah,
I don't see that happening.
Gide might spoil that part.
What is Gide's time?
2 hours and 16.
2 hours 16. There's only one Kenyan on this list who has a better time than her,
and that's
Bridget Kosgei. Yeah. So all the rest, have not reached Gide's, personal best. But I'm also looking at Sharon Lokedi. I'm looking at her to make a surprise. I think she's the defending champion, of the New York Marathon. I'm not sure. I could be mistaken, but I think there's a defending champion. And then there's Helen Obiri. Let's not forget Helen Obiri. Helen Obiri is one of those who might be. She won't even be a surprise winner this time, because remember she won in Boston. So I won't be surprised to see her winning. Now, I have an interesting prediction to make on the men's side, and I'm hoping that I'm gonna be wrong. I will not be surprised this time if I don't see a Kenyan
in the
top 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I will not be surprised.
Let me say this: when you look at the men's,
because a lot of the top hitters, they pulled out of the New York Marathon. I'm not sure why.
Now, when you look at the men's, when you look at the ranking in terms of time, the closest Kenyan is number 8.
Number 8, Albert Korir.
Korir, with a time of 2 hours and 8 minutes and something.
Yeah.
Then the other one is number 19, Cheserek.
Yeah, who's a debutant.
Who's a debutant? So there's no time. So that is why I'm saying.
And we don't know what his time would be.
We don't know.
We don't know. So he might surprise us.
He might surprise.
That's why,
and I think that's why
I'm with him.
That's why we were saying. I think this is also a chance. But we're also curious as to, the thought process of fielding these two or fielding these two, and what also happened to the guys or the supposed heavy hitters, why they pulled out. I'll just be curious
I think
of that, because it leaves us, we're like only 2 normally, because I think you normally see like a good number of a contingent of runners, especially with men.
Yeah,
but
correct.
Yeah, I think also the issue is that there's a lot of the top runners are angling themselves for Paris,
for Olympics
2024. And here is the issue with the marathon for Olympics, they allow a maximum of 3 runners in every country. And this is always a headache for Athletics Kenya to select the 3 runners who are going to represent Kenya. Because I think according to David Rudisha, he once said that Kenya has, and that was some years back, said that Kenya has more than 800 runners who qualify for the Olympic time. Meaning that if they were in any other, almost in any other country, those 800 people would have qualified to go for the Olympics. I think now it's more than 1,000 who qualify to go for the Olympics, but only
based upon time.
Based upon time.
Yes.
Based upon time. Every country is allowed a maximum of 3. So we know for sure that
the GOAT.
Eliud Kipchoge, the GOAT, is going to be there because he's a defending champion.
Yep.
We have Kelvin Kiptum, who recently broke a world record.
So gotta go.
He definitely most likely has to be there.
He's got to go. He's got the world record. So you can't deny him.
So you have a whole host of like
which means there's only 1 spot left.
Yeah, there's like 15 elite runners who are fighting for 1
from
spot.
These chaps?
Yeah, that's a headache.
So
I think it's a problem.
How do they arrive at 3? Is it something that is?
That's the Olympics. That's Olympic standard.
Olympic standard. Yes, Olympics say that. Yeah, because you can only field so many people, right?
Yeah, it's a maximum of 3 per country because Olympics they try to give a chance to all countries in the world.
Okay, good.
And then also think about it from a medaling perspective.
Yeah,
you only have 3 medals that are going to be given.
Makes sense.
So.
Yeah, so they
Sharon Lokedi.
Yeah, Sharon Lokedi.
Yeah, New York Marathon.
New York Marathon. Yeah, so that's also another one to watch. Yeah. But yeah, so that becomes a headache for Kenya, and then I think because the Olympics I think is gonna be the marathon is gonna be in August because I think the Olympics is between July and August. So whoever is gonna be going to the Olympics might wanna do one more marathon in 2024. Before they go to the Olympics. So I think that's why this timing of
wouldn't
the New
they
York
have to
Marathon.
do the trials? Wouldn't they have to do the Olympic trials? Because they haven't picked them yet.
No, marathons I don't think has trials per se.
They do it based upon time?
They do it based upon, you know, like what, because marathon is very intensive, it doesn't have trials like, you know, the way 100 meters has trials.
Correct.
So marathons, and I stand corrected if I'm wrong, marathons because of the grueling nature of the race.
And your body needs time to recover.
Yes, there's a different way to select. So I know in Kenya, you at least need to have won within the 4 years leading up to the Olympics. You at least need to have won at least 2 of the Abbott marathons, the major marathons, for even you to be considered, not for you to qualify, for you to even be considered. So it's very tough.
So then what's Kiptum's second race that he's won?
So I don't know whether Kiptum has won any other race, but by virtue of breaking
a world record,
because that's a rare occurrence.
Yes,
that's a rare. Typically, someone who breaks a world record is someone who's probably won other marathons. But Kiptum came in so young and just surprised everyone.
He obliterated.
Yeah,
he obliterated.
He just surprised everyone.
That record is going to fall.
Yeah, so
the 2-hour joint.
Yes, the athlete, today's athlete versus yesterday's athlete.
Yes,
totally different. And when you go back to say, let's go back to maybe even 2005, and look at what the record was then, and you compare with.
You remember at one point in time,
now.
996 was
a good time.
That was it.
Yes.
No, I remember when Ben Johnson, you know, was disqualified.
988.
He ran 989. I think it was a 989.
Yes.
And that was a juiced up runner, a runner who had taken drugs.
Yes.
We don't know if he was juiced for that one, but he had been juicing.
Yeah, he had been juicing. And that's what he was accused of.
Which means
he
was juicing.
We're not sure.
So,
we don't know.
So Evans Marube here is telling us that Kiptum won in Paris. So yes, he has already won another race. So
then he's in, like Flint.
Yeah, because by virtue of having those 2 runners, Kipchoge and
unless Kipchoge pulls out.
I don't think Kipchoge will pull out because he's after history. You know, and I think, unfortunately, I mean, and this is, you know, like a Kenyan to Kenya rivalry. I don't know, you know.
Fungua roho.
I need to see Kiptum running one more race. You know, because I think he will run one more race before he goes to the Olympics.
Which would be what? And you think he's going to do Boston?
So I don't know. I don't know which one he's going to do.
Because Boston is around March.
Boston is a round match.
Which would
and I think that's the one most...
Which would make sense.
No, it's April.
Either way, it still makes sense because you still have 3 months or more.
You still have like
3 or 4 months to recover.
You have up to August.
By the
you have up to August.
To a road trip.
Yeah,
April.
You have up to August. We should start planning now.
Wahome,
it will not happen.
Dinner with champions.
Is there a dinner with champions in Boston anymore?
You're in New attend.
Chicago. Okay, sorry.
But now I want to go to Evans
Chicago's
Marube.
in October. I
want to go to Evans Marube. Evans Marube said they go to Kasarani for Olympic trials. The best 3 are picked. Evans Marube, talk to us about the marathons. I don't think the marathons have trials where like Kipchoge and all these guys are running. I don't think, but Evans, please correct us.
Brown envelope.
I think the marathons, they have a different way in which they select. But these other races, like 1,500 meters, 3,000 meters.
Yeah, those ones they go.
Those ones they go for trials.
Yeah.
And then Udi Madenge said Kipchoge can't pull out. He has to solidify his Nike statue. Well, yeah, and then of course there was that Nike statue of his that was unveiled.
Udi Madenge, the Grease.
Yeah.
I think somebody. I mean, this is something for to plant a seed to discuss further. But because I think at some point in time, we were discussing about honoring.
Yes.
People like Kipchoge.
Yeah, absolutely.
And by
honoring by.
You see, now that's the thing.
Honoring by who?
No,
by Kenya.
In Kenya. No, as Kenyans.
In Kenya, as Kenyan, just Kenya. Like, okay, we have this guy. We have this dude, man. Forget even goat and forget camel. This is like the Kobe, the je ne sais quoi, the filet mignon.
Kenya, we are such a sporting powerhouse, and I think we just need to be creative on how to recognize these athletes in a way that will also benefit them. I think it would be nice to have, like a grand sporting museum. In fact, just have one special for marathons.
Why don't we have one?
But and that's why.
Because the original Kipchoge.
Yeah.
I mean, where is he featured somewhere?
Yeah, because
Kina Henry Rono.
Yes, because we have a history dating back to pre-independence.